What's up, Candy Lickers? It's your boy Matt Mitchell, a.k.a. Casio, back again. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. Episode 2, Casio's Cut.
Hey kid, look at me. Let's burn down the school with gasoline. Say hell yeah. Hell yeah. Say white trash. White trash. Hey kid, it's party time. We're kicking out the jams like the MC5. That's the way I wanna be. I'll be a white trash superstar. That's the way I wanna be. I'll be a white trash superstar.
Thanks to everybody who checked it out and liked it enough to come back and give me another try. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks also to the Liberal Rednecks, Corey Forrester, Drew Morgan, and Trey Crowder for sitting in with me on that first episode. Had such a fun time. We had a blast. We'll probably get in trouble for some of that, but we had fun sharing stories with you guys. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Be sure to follow everything Casio's Cut, CasiosCut.com. That's where you can download the podcast and keep up to date on what's going on. That will continue to grow as the show grows as well. Of course, hopefully, we've got the podcast where you listen to podcasts. If not, be sure to reach out to me on any of our social media and let me know where you listen to podcasts, and I'll put it on there. I'll figure out a way to get it on there and make sure it is available to everyone out there. I know it's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify now, so should be where you listen. CasiosCut.com is where you need to be. Follow us on social media, and it's at Casio's Cut, CasiosCut, and that is on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook. Be sure to find us. Also, be sure to interact. If you enjoyed the show last week, thank you for everybody who reached out and let me know that you liked it. Please reach out to the Liberal Rednecks, the Well-Read Comedy Boys, and let them know you enjoyed them coming on with me. Hopefully, we will have them back again. Keep up to date on my personal feed, at the Casio Kid, on everything. If you want to keep up to date with my stand-up comedy and my radio and all that good stuff. This week, a very special friend of mine, both started in comedy in the Birmingham, Alabama area at the Comedy Club Stardome. He is one of the most requested comedians that I get requested to perform with. I get hit up all the time saying, why don't you and FunnyMaine do a show together? And we have, and hopefully we'll do plenty more together. He is a very funny guy, very nice guy. Good to see him through the years get all the stardom and success and accolades that he deserves. You know him as the guy who sits on the couch and shows us how Alabama fans watch SEC football. Millions of views all over his social media platform. His videos are must watch during college football season. If you have not seen them, pause this podcast, go watch a couple. They are hilarious because they are true. That's the best part about them. It's how Alabama fans watch college football games. We will talk behind the scenes on that, how that got started, his comedy and radio, because I juggle all three of those as well, not to the video part, but the radio and the comedy, and how we juggle all that together. It's a work, and it's a process, and we will talk about that. We'll have some fun, and you'll get to know Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson from Birmingham, Alabama. Be sure to follow him. If you enjoy the show, let him know you appreciate him coming on Casio's Cut. And without further ado,
Hey,
do you consider yourself a viral video star, a comedian? What do you like to say? Jack of all trades, radio star?
definitely a comedian first. Blessed to go viral, you know.
Yeah.
But it's. I think everybody wants that viral thing now, and I understand it, man. But once you get it, it's like you can't really plan for it. You just got to be prepared for it.
I think for a while, and maybe you agree with this? I think for a while, maybe before we kind of all understood the concept of it, I think viral stars at first in the comedy world, do you think was maybe frowned upon?
Oh, absolutely.
And now it's kind of embraced and kind of, hey, we can kind of use this to our ability as a comedian.
Absolutely. I think the guys who were smart from the jump, they saw the value in going viral. It was a lot of guys who, came up through the internet and then they had all these people following. Then they had to learn the craft of stand-up comedy, which is actually backwards, because we come from a time where you had to earn your bones on stage, you know. So to see somebody selling out theaters and comedy clubs who hadn't earned that was rough at first. But me personally, I looked at the opportunity and I was like, let me learn from these guys, you know what I'm saying, because it looks like this may be the new wave.
All right, so let's kind of backtrack just a little bit. So some of you, to get to that point, may know what we're talking about, as in Jermaine going viral. But FunnyMaine, Birmingham native. Now, did you go radio after all this, or did you start in the radio? Because when I met you, you were already in the radio.
Right.
Me and you kind of mirror just a little bit, as in we're both still doing radio, both still doing comedy, both still, kind of doing everything all at once. To me, I joke around. I say I'm doing everything I can not to get a real job yet. Yeah. To me, talking for a living, I'll sign up for that till I'm 100. Okay. Yeah. So to you, did the radio start first? Did the comedy? How did all this start for you?
It was actually comedy first. Comedy started 2005. First shot at radio 2007, and then the viral stuff didn't come along till 2016. Okay. So it was definitely comedy first. So that was always my first love and my first thing I paid attention to. But radio was something that I went to school for, and I grew up in a real technological household. 'Cause my dad was a preacher, so we always had to hook up equipment and always had to talk and everything.
Running things at church.
Yeah. Okay. So that was kind of a natural progression, I guess. But comedy was definitely my first love and my first thing that I really put my effort into. So I started the Stardome. I assume you started the Stardome as well, right? Actually,
or did you start at like back rooms and stuff, or what? What are you doing?
I started on the road. I was traveling with Steve Brown from
very funny guy.
From at least 2006 to 2011. Okay. And I started doing.
But how does he find you? Let's do that.
Yeah, I was living in Tuscaloosa. Had finished school at Stillman. Went to university for a few years. So if you're talking about comedy at that time in Tuscaloosa,
Steve Brown.
You gotta be talking about Steve Brown. So he would have open mic nights or whatnot, and I just go and ask for a little time. He threw me in the fire immediately.
Okay.
He was like, "Okay, you want to do comedy? All right. Well, you hosting my show."
So do you remember your first night? That's why I like to ask comics.
Yeah, I got video of it.
Oh, when's the last time you looked at it?
I've never looked at it. It's in a shoebox. It's marked with the date. I'm so scared to look at that. That was my first night with Steve. That wasn't my first night, like, completely. My first night ever was August 25th, 2005 at UAB, the Old Hill Center. Okay. But with Steve, it was 2006, and I definitely got video of that.
But Hill Center, you got nothing.
Nah, I don't want to see that one either.
Do you, in your head, do you think Hill Center you did good, or did you get off stage going, "Oh man, this is awful"?
Nah, they stood up. A few people stood up, so I always say I got a standing ovation.
What were you doing then? Were you just doing life stories? What were you doing? Were you doing jokes?
Dude, I was drunk. I don't remember, man. It was just some silly stuff and trying to entertain college kids and just trying to find my footing. But I remember being like wasted.
Because for a while I had my literally first time on stage, open mic, Broadway room at the Stardome in Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. I had it on audio, and when I was on there on stage, I thought, I don't see what the big deal is. I'm crushing. And I listened the next day and went, OMG.
It wasn't that good.
Awful.
Yeah.
And so I like hearing comedians, if they've got it, if they went and heard it, what they felt like. Because I did more of an improv background, and I actually, for a while after that, specifically because of listening back to it, I hated stand-up for a while.
Yeah.
I liked more.
A lot of improv people do.
Yeah, they're two different demons. People lump them in together. If you're not in that business, they lump them in together. Hey, it's comedy, but they're two different demons.
Absolutely.
So now you're on the road with Steve Brown. So he throws you in the fire.
Oh yeah.
So you're on the road, and you're just cutting your teeth on the road with Steve Brown.
Yeah. Well, before I get into that, the thing about it, your first show, you don't have a standard yet.
No.
So you just like, I made it through. I got
somebody
a few laughs.
Yeah.
I killed it.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? That's your first time, but then as time progresses and you learn the game, you look back and say, oh my God, I was awful and I didn't know. But traveling with Steve, yeah, he was just like, yo, come get on stage, open up, do 10 minutes, whatever you got. Help me sell the merch after the show and do some of the driving. And
let's go.
And that
so
was
you were
my
a road
life.
dog immediately.
Yeah. So that was all I knew for a long time. And then here's when it got tricky. Like a few years in, I met all these other comedians, and they were like, okay, I heard people like, okay, that's Steve's boy. It's like, oh crap.
Right.
I get it.
No, I want to be a comedian.
Right.
But you're
I
Steve's
want
boy.
to have my own name and all of that. And that's when I started like branching out and doing comedy competitions, and I was doing real well in those because literally I've been primed on the road. Like I'd seen the veterans. I know what a cadence was now. I knew how to, work the room back and forth. So when I came to the comedy competitions, I ain't saying it was easy, but I was more polished than everybody else that I was competing against.
So, and you're doing, at that time, your comedy style is, you're not doing jokes. You're doing like stories with punches, and which to me lends itself to radio because I started in radio first, where we got to fill a time, and then right before commercial, let's hit the punch and go, which kind of is a different demon on stage.
Right.
Did you? So the radio was after that to you. So is that what you're doing? Are you telling live stories back then? Are you doing live stories and getting to the punch, or what are you doing?
I think I was taking angles of stuff that really happened in my life, but I was adding like
Stretching,
like some crazy stuff. Like my old joke about the dude with the big rims and everybody in my neighborhood had big rims. That ain't no secret, But then I'd be like, nah, this one dude, his rims so big, he like a hamster in a wheel. He didn't even have a car. So I was definitely taking real life situations and just adding like a silly twist, which kind of what I still do today.
Right.
It's literally going to be stuff that I went through, but I'm going to add a little bit of
Even in the
something to
videos.
it. Absolutely.
Even in the videos, it's exaggerating what you're really doing.
Absolutely.
Are you an actual writer? Are you writing? Are you like, to me, as in comedy, do you have notebooks of stuff? Are you recording? What are you doing?
I got bags of notebooks
Really?
at the house.
See, that's my Achilles heel. I'm an awful writer, which leads me to the improv. I like doing the improv stuff, which you're used to just
off the head,
doing it on stage. But to be in stand-up, you got to, like, there's shows where I do stuff off the cuff, and I go, oh, that crushed. And then I'm like, wait, what was it?
Yeah,
but that leads to the write it down. So you have notebooks of stuff.
I got notebooks. Every so often I'll go look through them. But if anybody's not familiar with being a writer versus improv, if we were battle rappers, it's like Casio would be coming off the dome, freestyler. I would be, going over the stuff that I rehearsed and written down.
And the
That's all
improv
it
guy
is.
can crash and burn and sometimes be the guy.
Yeah.
I think the writer is more consistent. Do you agree with that? What do you think?
It depends because writers, we do have like blocks. Like there could be months where we don't write anything new, or I've gotten good about adding notes in my phone and stuff like that. But there were times where I was like, I didn't write that down.
Right.
I had something good, and but people who master it, man, and especially somebody who masters improv, like they're genius to me.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Like a Will Ferrell.
Amazing.
It makes no sense how talented that dude is, man.
I mean, this episode's about you, but just to drive home that point, I took classes at the Groundlings in Los Angeles, and I would go watch. When I was taking classes, I would watch who was in the company, and there's names you never know. You would see them in like commercials and stuff, but they're acting, making a living. Well, they would invite people on the weekends, like people you would know, to come back and do the show. So one weekend, Louis C.K. comes in. And he literally stopped in the middle of the show and was like, I'm out. I don't know what I'm doing up here. Because he's a writer. He's a stand-up comic writer. And he goes, I'm trying to think of punchlines and y'all are going different reasons. Doesn't mean he's not as good as them.
Right.
But it's just that's not the same mesh of style of comedy.
Absolutely not. And I would encourage any comedian, whether you stand up, a writer, or improv, master what you do naturally well.
Yeah.
Lucky for me, I've got a little bit of improv in me. Just, I don't know where the gift come from, but it comes. And every so often I'll say something and people will be like, whoa. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I don't know where it came from either. But I think radio has kind of sharpened that tool a little bit in me too. And then being on stage will sharpen your wit too, because sometimes you got to come with something real quick. So
you're doing comedy. Mm-hmm. You're hitting the road. All of a sudden, because I've seen you, we've did shows together before. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to give too much of maybe your, the show if they haven't seen your show, because you're all over the nationwide. Give them
nothing they don't deserve.
They got to pay for that. Right. I don't want to give too much away, but just talk about how the video comes about, because I don't think you were going in planning this is going to be a viral video. You just thought, I got something funny. Let me share it with people.
Well, see, I didn't know at first. I started going back and forth to LA maybe like 2013.
Okay.
So between 2013, 14, 15, I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm buying all of this different equipment and lighting, and I was doing different type of videos, a whole bunch of skits, just throwing stuff against the wall to see what would stick. I got reposted by a few blogs, got a few followers.
Just when Vine is popping off and all that, or is this
Vine was kind of, I never really conquered Vine, but it was more Instagram.
Okay.
Back in the 15-second era, so
okay.
we were hitting them. Yeah, we were hitting them, and the more you do them, your timing gets a little better. You start coming with the punches a little bit quicker, and people are looking for videos, and this was more like urban hood black stuff, like, how thugs do this and how the gangsters act at the club. And, that was cool. I remember I had a character, the trap mime, where I would be like miming. I had the full French mime outfit, but he would be dancing to like Future and Lil Bootsy. People loved it.
Are they still online somewhere?
I took them down, man. I don't know if my new audience was ready for Trap Man, but I got them somewhere in the Dropbox. So, after, in between, man, on the weekends in the fall, I'm just a football fan, college football, Alabama guy. So, I took my love of comedy and my love of Bama football, and I would do like little videos every so often when Bama would lose. And I looked up, and after like 2 years, I had like 25,000 Bama fans just following me.
It's crazy.
And that was at the end of the 2015 season. So when the 2016 season started, I did the first How Bama Fans video on the couch. It was those 25,000, bro, who started pushing it out to everybody like, yo, y'all ain't check this guy out. So it literally took me 3 years to grow up to 25,000, and then that core 25, they started passing around to everybody, and now we're up to like 500K.
You're in the hundreds of thousands, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I just remember organically, like on Facebook, and I don't remember what year it was. It's got to be around there though, because at first, me and you just saw each other at comedy shows.
Right.
And then organically, on my Facebook feed and people sending me, hey, have you seen this dude doing these Bama videos? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's FunnyMaine, but what's happening? And then you go, wait, this is getting thousands and thousands.
Right.
And it's one of those where you go, wait, if I'm getting sent 10 times a day, that means everybody's getting it sent 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it just keeps piling on and piling on.
Yeah.
Is that one of those things where how does social media change after that?
you got to get
I think it goes from friends and family to wait, what? This changed all of a sudden.
Yeah,
right?
you got to get used to a whole lot more personalities and opinions because everybody got something to say. Everybody want to tell you how funny you ain't. They want to tell you about the size of your head, how your face looks. So you got to be, ready for all of that. But it's part of it. And we have a problem, I think, as people where we magnify the negative stuff like so big, even
100%.
though it's only like 3 or 4 people saying, we magnify it and we'll mute the positive stuff. And I did that at the beginning because you're like, why is person I don't even know got a problem with me? I'm just
100 comments, 1 comment's negative.
Yeah.
And you focus on that one.
Oh, you
That's
go
standard.
off.
I don't know if that's human nature. I definitely know it's comedian nature.
Absolutely.
I think we're all sensitive to that as comedians.
Yeah, and
sure.
people try to act like, you soft, you wear your feelings on your shoulder. No, this dude said something and I said something back. That's all it is to me. I learned about cause and effect in the 3rd grade. So that's what it is to me. But you have to be mentally prepared for that, man. And people gonna handle it different ways. I did not handle it well at first because I never had to deal with it, honestly. Right. But now when I kind of caught the groove and I saw like 5-6 weeks in, I was like, okay, this is really a thing. Like they're coming back, they're checking for it. I kind of cleaned up the process, made the videos a little more clear, started adding some slogans and it just turned into a production, but we still have fun with it.
Did you immediately start doing it weekly?
I did.
Okay, and then it just kept building on that.
Yeah, when the first week hit like 3 million views, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like,
3 million views, good gracious.
Yeah, but think about it. If you hit 3 million one time, you don't know what's going on. You think, okay, well, that was cool. Then that second week, it was still like hundreds of thousands, but that was down from 3 million. So I'm like, okay, maybe I just struck lightning one time.
Right.
3rd week is back up to millions. 4th week is like 7 million. Now I'm like, okay, we might have something. Yeah,
this got to be a science now.
Yeah, we need to get our act together. And you just. I stuck with my guns, man. I when the negativity started coming at me, I just kept, posting positivity because I'd already been doing that anyway. So it wasn't me pandering.
Right.
You can go back down my list and you're like, oh yeah, he was always posting Bible scriptures and that's just me. So it was just easier to be me. And I think that got a good response from people. Like, well, we relate to football. We relate to positivity. He's about family. He's having fun. He's not cursing. And I just kept the train rolling.
Well, I think also for people that have not seen your videos, it's how Alabama fans watched football this weekend.
Yeah.
And you do, I think at the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe at the beginning, the first couple ones that I saw were just kind of the core SEC games, and now you do the big games and everything.
Right.
The important games. But I think no matter if you're a Bama fan or not, you even fall into the quote-unquote stereotypes of Bama fans. I think non-Bama fans go, that is what they think. Right. You know what I mean? And the Bama fans are going, that is how I watch the game.
Yeah. And that's what I asked college fans, and they've all kind of straggled in over the years. I asked them what they liked about it. They're like, dude, you act just like us. But here's the other part
Insert
about
their
it.
team,
right.
And you're the same passion, yeah.
It was, of course, it's Bama football, but for outsiders, I'm a different looking Bama fan.
Okay.
Because when they make the Bama jokes, it's usually, let's be real,
white
some
redneck.
old white redneck, missing teeth, the
Harvey
cousin
Updike.
loving. Yeah, they try to throw all of that out there, but it's like, oh, it's a cool young black kid. What can we say? This isn't how we pictured Bama. Now they got to look at Bama fans totally different.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of byproducts from the videos and that was one of them. They were like, oh, this is kind of modern looking. This looks a little progressive.
You aren't as backwoods as we thought you were.
Right.
A little bit.
Right. So it's just been a good look for everybody. And then I understand that it coincides with all the winning that Bama does.
Yeah.
That, now people will pay attention. You can have their ear when you're winning. Nobody cares how Bama fans watch the game if we're 2-8 every year.
So do you find, especially since they're few and far between, do you find viewers go up after a loss?
Absolutely.
Do they?
Absolutely.
Just to see how you're gonna react?
Everybody wants to see, okay, Mr. Cocky, you Mr. Cocky when y'all winning. Now that you lost, let's see what you got to say now.
Say.
Here's the other byproduct from the videos. All the other fan bases come to see what I'm going to say about their team. If they took a loss, they want to see how hard I'm going to go on them. If they won, they want to come collect their props.
Yeah.
It is what it is because people know that a lot of college football fans are watching. They want to be represented, even though it clearly says how Bama fans. And I wear crimson in the videos. They're like, nah.
Your validation for that.
Yeah. We've seen you validate and shout out other schools, so don't act like you don't
Give
do
us
it.
ours.
Right.
All right, so you're doing stand-up. Now the videos pop off.
Mm-hmm.
When did you realize I'm going to have to bring the videos in on my gigs? Like, do you start getting calls to do gigs because of the videos, or are people yelling stuff at the gigs? How did that start mingling?
It was immediate. It was an immediate decision. The crazy thing was I was scheduled to perform during the holiday weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, which is also Iron Bowl weekend here at the Stardome. Okay. 2016. They usually fishbowl, which means they'll call people and give away free tickets just to fill it up.
Now let me pause. So people not in Birmingham, Stardome, 400 over 400 people,
about 425,
over 400 people, Tuesday through Sunday, and yes, Iron Bowl weekend, Iron Bowl Alabama Auburn game, largest rivalry in sports. A lot of people are either at the game, around the game, at home with their friends and family watching the game. So if you're doing comedy there, which I've done on that weekend, little sparse. So like you said, a lot of free tickets going out.
Right.
You bring you and your friends, come out. So you've got people that either aren't football fans or just want to get out or from out of town, whatever the reason. Like you said, fishbowl is what they call it.
Right.
We're drawing names out of the fishbowl and you win tickets. So you're there on that weekend and that changes everything.
Yeah, it was God's timing, man. We had filmed in March of 2016 a Comedy Central show with Kevin Hart called Heart of the City.
Yeah.
That was in March of 2016. They didn't let us know when it was going to air or anything. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, finally they let us know that the show is about to air. Just happens to be the Sunday before I'm about to feature at the Stardome.
Okay.
No tickets have been sold. They were fishbowling and, getting ready to fill it up. So I push out on my Facebook, hey, guys, check out Comedy Central. I'm going to be on with Kevin Hart. So now they see me sitting with Kevin Hart, Rocky Dale Davis, my boy Trey Mack, and
great Birmingham comics.
Yeah. So and I'm with Kevin Hart, and I perform well. After the show goes off, tickets just start flying. They're like, "Oh, he's a real comedian." Oh wow, we didn't know that. We thought he was just on the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, a lot of viral video stars got famous first, then they're going out to comedy clubs because they can sell tickets. Not hating on that.
Right.
Do what you got to do. If you can sell tickets, sell tickets. And the comedy clubs go, if you can sell tickets, come on in. Then they got to figure it out on stage, which is a hard thing to do.
Right.
So flip it around, they're going, wait a minute, he's an actual comic, which I've seen you do before. You have to I think you do a great job of when you do a show, you do comedy beforehand and go, guys, I'm a comic first.
Right.
We're going to get to the Bama stuff.
Absolutely. That's
gonna
exactly
get
what I
to
tell them
football stuff.
every show. I'm like, hey, I know why y'all are here, but first let me get y'all up to speed. About 30, 40 minutes worth of jokes. Then we'll flip to the football stuff, and we'll do a Q&A if they want to ask me about football. So they get a full show. But that 2016 moment, we sold out to start on for, I think, like 4 nights. And now they had to scramble because they had given away all of these fishbowl tickets. And
They're
like,
getting bumped.
Yeah,
Are you headlining or are you featuring?
I was headlining.
You were headlining.
Easy.
And all of a sudden, boom.
Happened just that fast, man. And like I said, it was that first night we had fun, but it was a little rocky because I was like, talking about the football stuff all the way in between, and everybody kept roaring. But then that second night, I was like, no, I'm going to do my jokes, and then I'm going to talk about football.
Okay,
I made an instant decision, and it's been that way ever since.
So second night, you figured out I'm doing half comedy, and then we'll get to the football.
Yeah, because I had the whole week to think about it, but, I felt the first day out, and I was like, no, this is how it's going to be. Like,
Okay.
Second night, ever since then, it's been no issues. Like, we've been boom, boom, boom. And
That's
it's
crazy.
been rolling, man. Yeah.
So you let people open it up afterwards and ask questions. And you said everything's been great.
Yeah.
No bad shows along the way since
Not
the
to
viral?
me. Not to me.
I always like to see if there was a stinker in there with somebody.
Nah, it's so many different sections. You got your openers, then you got my 30 minutes worth of jokes, then you got like 10 to 15 minutes worth of football jokes, 10 minutes of Q&A, and then like another 20, 30 minutes of autographs and signing pictures.
Right.
So every segment would have to go wrong for me to feel like it's
To have
a
a
bad
complete
show.
bomb, yeah.
Even if the 30-minute set didn't go so good, I'd be like, oh, the football part went good. And then I enjoyed everybody's energy during the picture taking. So if all of that just went wrong, it'd be crazy. But nah, we have a lot of fun there, man.
What do you consider? Do you have a show that stands out? Your best show, your favorite show you've ever done?
Oh goodness, man.
Hottest crowd, anything like that? Does anything stand out?
Off top, I keep thinking
that's
of
putting
like,
you on the spot. But
yeah, I know. I keep thinking of like shows like Dothan, man. It's the smaller towns
Right.
where they just come out ready. Now, I love my Nashvilles, Atlantas, Chicago's, but those small towns, man, they really
was Dothan
make
a
you
theater?
Nah, it was like a
club?
restaurant kind of bar situation.
Yeah.
But we had like 200 people in there who were just ready. They were just ready for action, bro. And we like brought it. It was just fun. It was, as a comedian, when you had those nights when you just in the zone,
Yeah.
everything just hitting.
Yeah.
That's what it was, man. So anytime we've done like, what was the small city we did
Aniana.
together? Aniana. You
Swamp
can't-
Tales.
Yeah, you can't beat stuff like that, man.
They clamored for it.
Yeah.
Because I looked at your tour schedule because we had to find time for us to talk for this, and I see that was the cool thing about looking at your tour schedule. You had the clubs in there, but like you said, you're also going to towns that don't necessarily have a comedy club,
Right.
but they're wanting to see your show, which I think is a pretty cool deal because you're getting to bring comedy to that.
Right, and that's what I think they appreciate. Like, yo, you gonna take the time out to come to our town? Like, dude, we gonna show you all the love. 'Cause
Right.
we don't get a lot of entertainment here, and it's a different type of appreciation.
How do other colleges take you? Loving it? Do you do many colleges?
Yeah, I go on their campuses. Like sometimes I walk around. I got this thing. I'm trying to see all the SEC stadiums, and I got 2 more to go. Anytime I'm on their campuses, I always love, man. I get recognized by students and people.
You in full Bama gear when you go?
Always.
Yeah, you
Always.
going 2 Bama games? I know you got fam at Mississippi State, right?
Yeah. He
Is
just
that right?
graduated though, but
So you going to Bama games? Is that
it's
what your
hard
goal
going
is,
to
or
the
you
games
going to
now.
what?
Yeah, it's hard going to the game. I usually just visit the stadiums like out of
Just
season,
when you're out?
or
Okay.
or when I'm traveling and get a picture at every stadium. But it's hard going to Bama games now, man. It's hard to get
Just mobbed.
like up the steps. Like it's, I love it.
We got to get you not up the steps. We got to get you straight in, man.
But they know I love when
Yeah.
I go to a game. I'm not trying to sit up in the booth,
Right.
like VIP. I want to be amongst the people. But it's just it's different now. And I'll come in, I'll wave at everybody and rile
never
everybody
stop,
up. Yeah, but people will, as soon as they get like a timeout, everybody will run down, try to get a selfie. And then you try to tell them nicely, like, look, if I take one picture,
It's game over.
I might have to take 2,500. And that's going to be difficult. So
Whoever you cut off, you're going to be the ass to them.
Right. So what we started doing, we teamed up with Hibbit, and we'll take like 2 hours worth of pictures before the Bama game.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, and everybody's like, man, how do you do that? Like, how do you have the energy to sit and smile that long? Because I'm like, y'all thinking about now. I'm still thinking about 2014 and 2009 when nobody knew who I was and nobody wanted to take a picture. So I appreciate this. Like, I'll do this.
No, comedians, like you said, doesn't matter how packed the room is. Doesn't matter. There's 1,000 comments that are positive.
Right.
We remember the tiny rooms. We remember the bad comments.
Absolutely.
We remember when nobody was there. You remember the fishbowl rooms. You remember all that. You remember that more. I ask you for your favorite show, and it's like, I don't know. You remember bad shows? You're like, yeah, I could probably list some bad rooms. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I remember bad rooms. So, I think that's that mentality of being a comedian of,
Right.
I remember cutting my teeth, and I remember what I had to do to get here. So you don't want to ever let it go. Do you?
But to that end, isn't it weird though that guys who don't come up and stand up but just get that internet fame, they walk in the room like, oh, y'all should know me. Or that there's no with a lot of them that I've noticed is they're missing the humility that comes with having those bad shows, and then now they have to get their humility while they're already popular.
Yeah,
and I don't wish that on anybody. we can get our humility in the early days, and nobody knows who we are, and they'll forget you. But y'all have already sold out this theater,
right?
And you still got to get humbled.
You're figuring it out in front of everybody.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, bro.
I was about to say, we've all seen videos of viral stars where the show goes bad,
right,
while they're on stage, and it's not a good thing because doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're the most famous comic in the world, a starter, or anywhere in between. If a crowd can smell blood, it's game over for you.
Oh my!
Because they are in charge, no matter what, no matter how much you think you're in control. As a comedian, they are in charge of that room.
Yeah.
And so we've all seen the videos of it go bad. I think somebody that, like you said, started as a comic and figured it out in those smaller rooms and got to that point knows how to handle that defeat a little bit better in public than somebody who goes, oh, I'm facing this for the first time, and unfortunately it's in front of hundreds and hundreds of people.
Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, bro. To have to get your humble pie in front of hundreds of people.
No way.
That ain't it, man. That ain't it, Chief.
Because now you're at a point where in your comedy, you might try something new in the middle of your show, and if it doesn't go well, I think you're at the point where you go, I know I can come back with some fire afterwards and get them back.
Right.
I think at that point you go, I don't know how to dig out of that hole. I mean, that's what you learned back in those days is how do I get out of a hole when I get in a hole?
Yeah.
Now you've got enough material to go, if this don't go bad, I'm going to throw some heat right after this and get right back out of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to make fun of myself. Like, I tell a new joke now and doesn't go well. I look at the crowd like, oh, forget y'all. I enjoyed that one. That was one of my best ones. I don't know what y'all thinking. But think about it. If you pack out the house and you bum and they came to see you, it's, oh my God, FunnyMaine bummed.
Right.
But if nobody knows you and you're just opening for somebody and you bum, it's just, hey, that guy bummed.
I won't remember it.
You could be that guy because you can go on with your life. They don't remember your name.
They can see you again when they know you and won't know that they saw you when you bombed.
Nah, and I'm not going to bring it up either.
This is the first time you saw me.
Right.
This is the first time I've been in this town.
But because nobody's got their camera out when they don't know you.
Right.
You know, because they're not finna waste their battery on.
I heard somebody, maybe you can say, what's your thoughts on this? I heard somebody say, I wish I could remember who said it. It was a comic, but it was early on when I was working, that said the easiest spot of the night is featuring, not emceeing. It was featuring, because you're in the middle. They didn't pay to come see you. I think emceeing, and if people don't know the stand-up, headliners who you paid to go see. Their name's on the bill. Their name's on the ticket. That's most likely who you came to see. Feature goes right before them. It's usually a 3-man show. MC starts it off. They're coming out. You're sitting down, doing announcements, getting the show started. Somebody told me MC is second hardest because, or maybe even the hardest, because they're ordering. They're doing, hey, who's got this? Good to see you. Hadn't seen you. It's date night. Where's our table? What are we ordering? Who's getting this? You drinking? Everything. They said the feature was the easiest spot because you really got no pressure. What do you think?
I think I used to think like that at one point, but now I think it's backwards. I think, just me, I think host has it the easiest because they're the first voice that the crowd is hearing. Okay. Even if they're okay, they've set the tone for like, okay, it's like this. Like this is the kind of night we're in for. So if the host gets some laughs, they can kind of go wherever. And there's really no pressure on them to do material. Heck, they could do birthday shout outs. Right. They could shout out all of the zodiac signs and get a reaction. Yeah. There's no pressure on them to do material. Feature, there's a little more pressure because you got to have 20 to 25 good minutes. Right. You know, if you start losing people and people are like, if the host didn't set the tone right and everybody's ready to see the headliner and the mojo in the room is thrown off, that feature better come with it. Yeah. Now, as the headliner, everybody came to see you. So if the host is killing and the feature is killing,
the headliner's definitely the toughest. Don't get me wrong.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, headliner's definitely the toughest.
Because everybody's going to remember you
as
a headliner.
But do you think the feature blends in?
I think a lot of
can you get lost in the shuffle a little bit?
Yeah, of course they can.
I think there's some nights where, like when I first started featuring, and you go out and do 20 minutes, and you go, man, that was fire. I can't wait. Can't wait. The club owner's going to love me. Fans galore. And you go after the show, and everybody shakes the headliner and walks right past you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like, that's you normal feature. In. But then you also, this is the worst part about featuring, especially when you do well. You're out there helping this used to be my experience. You're out there helping the headliner sell his merch, and you're shaking hands. And here comes that one person. Man, I thought you were the best one.
It's the most uncomfortable ever.
So uncomfortable because now the headliner is like, oh, well.
Especially, I was about to say, if the headliner
now you out of work. Yeah. I've had the headliner hear it a few times. And now, me being the headliner, I don't try to stifle the feature. I'm like, do what you do. Yeah. Because I'm going to do what I do. But then in the back of my head, I'm also like, you can't really have a strong feature, man. Let's be real, bro.
I was about to say, I've been through different mindsets. I would love to see yours. Because, look, every comic's different. That's why it's an art form. I've been through different mindsets. At first, when I first started headlining, I'd be like, I hope the feature bombs. Because I'm going to go out here and be better than him. I know that. Right. I might not have the greatest set ever, but I can be better than him. I hope he bombs and sets the bar low. And then I'm like, now I hope he sets the bar and gets the crowd reaction. Right. What are you like now? Are you in I hope he sets fire or what?
No, I want everybody to be good.
Just crush.
I want everybody to be good because that makes for a good show because at this point, I'm going to do what I need to do regardless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm going to come out and I'm going to set my own tone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there are now, I can't just have the feature getting a standing ovation. Come on, man, we gotta talk. I'm like, dude, if it ever happened to me, I honestly would be like, dude, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I love you in the feature spot, but dude, you killing, and I'm gonna just take this L. Like, you making it hard for me. No, I'm not gonna ask you to take it down a notch. I'm like, dude, you ready to headline, bro? We gotta come to something, man. I ain't trying to take you out for work. Here, I'll pay you for tomorrow night, but I'm gonna get a replacement, dude.
I'll recommend you to anybody else, but you can't feature for
right.
me.
So yeah, you can go tell them, like, Jermaine took me off the show because I was killing. And if they come ask me, I'm gonna say, yes, that's exactly what happened, bro. Because that dude is strong.
Let me ask you this: why do you think? Why do you think there's not? Or maybe you have a different view. Why do you think there's not comedy feuds like there is in like music and stuff?
Oh, there absolutely are comedy feuds. You don't follow enough black comedians. They feud all the time.
Do you think it's not as public, or do you think? What do you think?
We've had many.
Because I've had comics tell me they don't like other comics.
Yeah,
I don't see it as publicized. Now, maybe like you said, maybe I'm not.
We would have to be popular enough for people to care. That's one thing.
Okay.
But I seen
not for me personally, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
saw recently I saw Cat Williams and Tiffany Haddish go at it.
Oh, that interview was amazing.
Kevin Hart and Mike Epps went at it. Michael Blackson and Lil Duval had a spat. So I would say it's been 2 to 3 major comedy beefs in black comedy a year.
Well, Cat Williams did the interview over in Atlanta, the radio interview, where he just set fire
to be there.
He set fire to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Was that where Red was in the studio?
Yeah, it was Red's interview. Red Grant was there performing, and he was there to interview with Wanda Smith and Frank.
Cat torched everybody.
Yeah, Cat was in the green room just supporting his boy, and they was like, no, Cat, because he's a big name, and they wanted to get him in and talk to him. And then Wanda starts up with him, and then he goes in on everybody, and Cat being Cat, and now he got all these beefs, and Kevin Hart writing paragraphs and all this stuff, man. So the beef is there. I'll never understand it because, it's enough out there for all of us. And shout out to my guy, Scooter McGruder. I don't even know if you know
Scooter Magruder.
Scooter McGruder is a guy who people would say that our videos are kind of similar. He's a big Cowboys fan, Florida Gators fan. Here's the thing. Scooter's been on the couch at least 2 to 3 years before I even thought about it.
Okay.
So people kept sending him my videos and sending me his videos like, wow, this dude's stealing from you. This dude. Scooter DM'd me his number, and we just chopped it up about what we could do to make our video. He wasn't worried about the beef. He wasn't worried about who was doing what. Did
you see Scooter before, or did you just?
I never saw him.
Put out videos, everybody's like, you're stealing him.
Yeah, but we never met.
The drama.
Yeah, and after like 2 conversations, we did a collaborative video, over 1 million views, and we've been cool ever since.
That's wow.
He'll hit me up. He's like, yo, this agent's looking for such and such. I think you'd be perfect for it, blah, blah, blah. I hit him up. Yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So when people try to manufacture a beef, we actually became comrades. But that's on Scooter, because I can't say that I came in, wanting to be the bigger man or
I felt
just handle it.
I felt like if I did something like that, and somebody immediately starts tagging me and going, you copied him, I think human nature is you get defensive and go, like I wouldn't even know Scooter, but I'd be like, I don't know him. I didn't copy him.
Right.
And you feel like you're attacking him and getting mad at him, but really it's just his fans going, looking out for him.
That's exactly what it was.
And your fans doing the same thing for you.
That's exactly what it was. And we were both innocent.
So that's big on him for reaching out and going, let's.
It was totally big. He'll have my respect to the day I'm gone because of that. And that changed my perspective on how I would handle stuff in the future, because that was not my first thought to reach out to this man.
Right.
That was his first thought, to reach out to me and let's collab.
So did you think maybe he was mad at you out of the gate, or did you?
No.
What did you think?
Once he reached out, I was like, oh, this a real dude. Like this, he gets it.
Yeah.
Right? He got it more than me. You know, and the way he handles negativity, like Scooter will never respond to a critic. You could go back through his Twitter. You can search his YouTube. He will never respond. I don't know what that is in him, but I'm trying to now emulate and recreate that for myself. But he's never responded, and he never will.
Do you block people on Twitter?
I've had to block a few lately, and you know, I can deal with anybody saying you ain't funny. That right. For whatever reason, that don't bother me.
You're gonna get that.
Yeah,
everybody's gonna get it if you're out in the public eye.
Yeah, but here's the kicker: being having a large Southern Republican Trump-loving fan base. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's gonna be some clashes because we're not gonna agree on things.
Right.
You know
when
what
it
I'm
gets
saying?
outside of football sometimes.
Yeah, because I'll forget who's following me. Sometimes stuff just fly. I've never, Casio, I've never woke up and be like, oh, I'm going to find something racist today. I'm actively searching. No, I've never done that. Sometimes stuff just comes down my timeline, and then I'll say something about it because I disapproved of it, and then they'll start, backlashing. I'm like, wait, what part are you not agreeing with?
Right.
This guy, I'm just saying, like, for instance, it's, some governor or whatever caught in blackface, right. Or, some racist guy said something, and I'm like, wow, what a ignorant bigot this is.
Right.
Well, what about such and such? I was like, wait, what you mean, what about? We're talking about this racist idiot right now.
You're throwing that's called a distraction grenade.
Right.
You're trying to distract
what aboutism?
Yeah.
It's like, well, why didn't you say anything I didn't see that? What are you talking about? I'm not picking who's racist.
I'm just the headline in this one. That's
I'm just addressing the racist guy that I saw. So the fact that you're getting defensive makes me feel like you might be wanting to side with that guy. Now we got a problem. I'm like, hold on. Now, where's your head really at? Let's go back. What part of what I said actually upset you?
But do you, and you see, I don't know how close you pay attention to numbers, but I from what I've seen, I don't think that has affected you, especially negative.
No.
I don't think it's affected you either way, right?
Here's the thing. I've learned a lot about Southern Republicans and how a lot of them really think. Because they'll send me messages, privately in support. But I think there's a culture amongst them where you just don't go against us in public. And I think that's their mantra. I kind of respect that. Okay. I kind of respect that, but I also sometimes wonder.
Wait, when you say, clarify, when you say us.
I'm talking about white, Southern, deep, so you're red state Republicans.
You're saying the people that believe like I do,
right.
We're not going against them in public, even if we have some different views.
Right. When
political views were on
we're
the same.
Talking about the Second Amendment, look, we're all in. We support the Second Amendment.
Right.
If we're talking about being pro-life, we're all in. You don't go against that in public.
Right.
Even if you feel a way, you shut your mouth and you don't say it out in public. That's kind of gangster. That there's, an unwritten rule where
this is my clique and we're gonna ride or die.
Yeah, but where I think it gets kind of sad to me is now, come on, man, kids are getting killed in schools. You can't speak up about kids getting killed because you're worried about what you're gonna say in opposition to guns, dude. So that to me that's kind of sad that you can't even, if nothing. I think it comes down to not that they don't want to say something, but they don't know what to say.
So that's an interesting. Did you have a talk with yourself internally of maybe with this newfound followers, because that's the age we're in? Do you have a debate within yourself? Am I going to stay away from this now? Do you have that debate?
Sometimes I do, but then sometimes I'm like, I know I'm not speaking up to benefit myself.
Right.
I'm speaking up on behalf of a lot of people who might not have as many followers as me. I let them know, like, dude, I got conservative views.
Right.
I'm a gun toter. I'm carded. I had to post all of that, and now it's a different conversation. Like, look, I support the Second Amendment. You know, I support guns and gun ownership, absolutely. But I can also say we've got a culture problem with guns because kids should not be getting killed at school. 50 people should not be getting shot at a club in Orlando and 50 or whatever in Vegas. That's a culture problem because it keeps happening. So even though I support the Second Amendment, let's put everything on the table to change the culture. If we need a stricter law that just says you can still own a gun, but look, we need to check you out for about 2 weeks. I got no problem with that. If that's going to keep a few of the crazies from getting guns, I got no problem with that.
So, but you don't. But so your Twitter, you're not necessarily when a story comes up going, I need to use this as a platform.
No.
You just see something that catches your eye and go,
and I respond.
You know what? I need to say something. I feel like I want to say something on this.
Right. That's it. That's
if y'all agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't.
That's as far as I take it.
That's what social media is for.
That's as far as I take it. But I think when people come at me like in a nasty or confusing way, I'm kind of a facts guy. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me hear you out.
If your argument, let me hear your
argument. Let me hear you out. What's your stance on this?
I mean,
then if they come back with some BS, I'm like, well, no, actually, that. So you find out that a lot of people don't like to be told the truth.
Right.
And now they come back with some other stuff. I've been accused of being a racist. And I'm like, dude, if I'm racist, I'm a great actor. I'm way better than Jussie Smollett, bro. Cause I be acting.
So we've got the Twitter followers now. Mm-hmm. Let's see, we've got the videos now. The tour's going. Do you find a relief when football's over? Is there a little bit of downtime?
There is like a.
I mean, I know you got other stuff going,
right?
But is there a little bit of okay? I can catch my breath for just a little bit.
Absolutely, because those 3-minute videos that everybody sees, they take me like 4 to 5 hours.
Sure, you're not just recording, stop, recording, stop,
no.
recording, stop.
That throws my whole sleep schedule off for the week.
Do you drop them on the same day?
I drop them early Sunday morning, about 7:30.
So you're trying to get them out ASAP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's always worked. So I think
because the sooner the better.
Yeah, and I think it helps. Or it matches up with the algorithm, and I get pushed to the top of a lot of pages, and it's organic. And
Sunday, that's where naturally everybody's talking about the college football, and that's
right.
I think the later
right, and then it's not a lot of content being posted early Sunday morning.
That's true.
Yeah, but my audience is up. They're up, getting ready for church, and
now they're clamoring for it. They're waiting for it now.
That's it. They expect it.
So do you focus more on comedy when football season's over, or do you capitalize during football season?
Mostly when football season is over.
That's when you hit the road more.
Yeah, we got, my daytime job occupies my week.
And when you say daytime job, it's radio.
I'm on the radio, yeah. I'm on the radio in Birmingham, so I can't do a ton of traveling. And then come Saturday, I've got to be in front of a TV.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to watch all of these games so I'll have something to talk about.
Yeah.
So it would be rough to travel during the fall.
Do you watch football alone? Do you like going to party? Or
I do. I
do
like
you have
watching
to watch
it alone. Yeah, I like watching it alone better. If I try to watch it in the group thing now, everybody wants to talk. Everybody's staring at me.
And you're trying to actually think of what to do in the video, right?
No, I'm trying to watch the game, especially if it's Bama. Everybody's looking at me like,
say something funny.
Yeah, like act like you act on the thing. Like, dude, relax.
Let's just chill out and watch the game.
Let me watch the game. I really watch the game. Like, but I can't say how active. I'm watching an event with Denzel and Halle
Right.
Berry, I'd probably be watching them too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
not that I'm on their level, Oscar winners.
So
but
now it really is. Let me just be on the couch and watch football.
that's it. And now I can relax. I can be with my thoughts. I can have my Twitter in my lap. And
So a couple quick things.
Mhm.
So before we get out of here, because I know your time's precious, appreciate you being with me. Couple quick things, because we both are in radio.
Mhm.
I do think that helps the comedy thing. Do you love
Absolutely.
the radio bug? I think it helps. I think me personally think it helps me be creative.
that, and I think it helps us get to the punchline quicker.
Yeah.
Because you don't have all day to do your setup and everything
Right.
with radio. You got to, especially if you got like a partner in radio, you got to be able to respond, boom, get in, get out. So I think it helps with that. And I think it just helps understand the industry a lot better because y'all probably have celebs coming through and
Yes.
promoting. So you understand just the media grind and what you got to do on different ends and how you need to communicate with people. And when you go do your own interviews, you just, it's a different understanding.
I'm sure you get this a lot because we get it in Huntsville where I do my morning show. After being out on the road as a comic and now doing the morning show and having comedians come in,
Right.
I get comedians all the time go, wow, that was a chill. It's not the morning zoo. Hey, setting
Right.
up. Because
Right.
I've been on that other side.
Absolutely.
And there's worse than going, I'm going to set you up and you do a punchline. You just want to do an interview and let's get my story out and come see my show.
Yeah, you want to ask great questions. You want to do a little more research. You don't want to ask them the same old thing. You're going to help them sell the show a little bit better because you understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's better.
We're not having fun in the nut hut and doing all this cheesy stuff, that
Right.
radio stuff that we've all had to do as comics on the road. You're like, I
Right.
know what. So when they come in, you know how to deal with them better. Do you foresee? Do you think the viral is going to get bigger in the comedy world? Do you think it's kind of at a happy medium? What do you think it's going to do?
There's always going to be change. Who knows what the next stage of this thing
Yep.
is or whatever. But right now, it's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
You know, people
agree.
are watching less TV.
Yep.
People watch maybe an hour and a half
They
of
consume
TV.
they consume media from wherever they want now.
But everybody's got these little TVs in their hands
Yeah.
now. So they're looking to be entertained all day, every day. They're scrolling their Facebook. They're scrolling their Instagrams. And, you know, if you can make yourself a valuable content producer on there or contributor, they'll find you.
Yeah.
They'll find, because the difference with TV and internet is TV, you had limited options. You know, they throw things out there and then you choose or you didn't choose. On here, everybody's going to choose.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose who gets chosen. They just choose you because they like what you did, and
that's the organic push, like you
that's
said.
it.
Friends share it with friends, friends share it with friends.
Yeah.
And that's when you know it's good, is because it
Right.
organically went out there.
Yeah.
So before we let you go real quick, I like to ask the other comics that I've had on, because I get it just in the time that I've done comedy myself. I'm sure you get it all the time. Comics ask people that are starting in the business for advice in stand-up comedy. All comics have different answers for that. When somebody asks you for advice for stand-up comedy, what do you give them?
I tell young comics, enjoy the ride. And the ride is, you know, being bad, man, not being perfect, you know, not selling tickets, but enjoying the ride of everything that it takes to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? The good nights, the bad nights, the hungry nights, the broke nights, oh crap, we got a $500 check for this show night. You know, the small victories, enjoying all of it, because once you get to a headlining level, that's all you're going to talk about. It's all the stuff that you had to go through to get to where you are. Like when I'm with when I'm with comedians, I'm not usually talking about what's going on now. We're talking about the hazing that we had to go through, back then. And that's the stuff where we relate to, but you realize like it all makes sense when you get to where you're going. So just enjoy the ride and keep working and don't give up, man. And learn to smile during the bad times, bro, because they're coming, but learn to smile, learn to make fun of it, and let the stage be your therapy.
And before we leave, tell them where all they can find you online.
I got the same name on all of your favorite apps, at FunnyMaine, FUNNYMAINE. That's on every major app. Got the same name, so find me, follow me. Love to have you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
brother.
the time. Check him out. Videos are great. Radio's great. You can get, I'm sure they can get the app, right? They can listen to the radio in Birmingham. They can get the app, whatever they want, the videos, all the good content. Thank you, Jermaine, FunnyMaine Johnson. Check him out. We better stop before I get him